Namaste and welcome. This is Yoga for Discovery. And as I came into the room this morning, a different room than normal, I discovered a poster about discovery. So how appropriate was that? And exploration and experimentation provide opportunities for discovery of new knowledge. Or diving deeper into commonplace is another way of expanding and enriching our experience. And we can discover new insights about our yoga practice by trying different variations of familiar asanas, or holding those asanas, those poses, long enough to really dive deep and discover the subtleties that affect our flexibility, strength, and balance. And we'll be enjoying our practice more because we're discovering new ways of relating to the poses, understanding them better. And in this spirit of discovery, I'd like you to take a comfortable seat. Maybe lean into the front of the sitting bones, and then inhale, lift the shoulders up and back. And exhale, draw the navel to the spine so you have a firm and steady seat that's comfortable and relaxed, steady and easeful. Discover the touch of breath in your nostrils as you inhale and exhale, and the transitions between the breaths so that they're smooth and one breath just melts into the next without any breaks or pauses. Be open to revelation, expand your perspective. Take this exploration as a journey to discover something unique and wonderful about your practice, and to relate to each pose with a sense of innocent awe and discovery of something potentially wonderful and new. It takes confidence to be willing to face these unknowns. So I've chosen Vajra Mudra. And with this, we interlace the fingers at the ends of the fingers and extend the thumbs upward, crossing the hands over the heart center. Vajra Mudra helps to build unshakable trust and self-confidence. It enhances spiritual strength while increasing commitment and dedication to spiritual practice, while remaining humble. With practice, there's more trust in the flow of life and in the divine. Everything is the way it is for a reason. Now, we have a mantra that honors the victorious goddess Durga, who overthrew tyranny and greed, and helps to protect us while also blessing us with healing and prosperity. It is made up of Om, which is the universal sound, and then 3 bija mantras, these root or seed sounds: Aim for Mahasaraswati, Harim for Mahalakshmi, and Kleem for Mahakali. The 3 feminine forces of the universe are represented in these 3 sounds. And then the word Chamunda recognizes the Divine Mother as destroyer of the demons, Chanda and Munda. The term Vishe means shield. Altogether, Om Aim Hrim Kleem Chamundaya Viche. Now, for our discovery to begin, I'd like you to come into a reclining position, laying on your back. And lifting the knees up and letting the arms rest. Placing one hand on the abdomen, feel how the breath moves in your body with the inhalation expanding upwards through the belly, the chest, the sides of the rib cage. And on the exhale, the belly descending, sinking in towards the spine. And just explore that movement. Discover the transitions between the breath. And then rest the hands. Now is when you might need a block to support. I'm going to come into bridge pose. We'll lift the hips up. Place the block underneath the sacrum, the back of the buttocks, somewhere that you can rest down on the block without strain. And just let the block support you in this bridge pose. Om, Aim, Hrim, Klim, Chamundaya, Viche. Om, Aim, Hrim, Klim, Chamundaya, Viche. Om, Aim, Hrim, Klim, Chamundaya, Viche. And start to lift and release out of this. Good. Let the legs stretch out straight. The arms reach up overhead and symmetrically lengthen through the back. The arms, the fingers, the legs, the toes, everything spreading out. And then interlace the fingers above the head, walk the heels to the right, and cross the ankles. Lean the shoulders to the right and look over the left shoulder, making a banana shape in the back. Breathe along the left side of the waist, the hip, the rib cage. And release, come back to the center. Walk the heels over to the left side, cross the ankles. And then lean the shoulders to the left. Look over the right. And breathe comfortably along the right side of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Discovering more space along the right side of the waist. And now release and back to the center. Okay. Bringing the knees up, open the knees apart to reclining cobbler pose. I'm going to add support under the outside of the thighs so the legs have some rest and relaxation. There's no unnecessary strain. And you can really discover deeper levels of the pose, taking the time to really feel, sense, and be aware how the breath moves in you in this pose. Discover new pathways for the breath to help you relate to this pose easier. And transition now by lifting the knees, extending the left leg, and hugging the right knee into the chest. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, contract, drawing the navel in, the knee closer. Being patient and waiting for these deeper levels of the pose to reveal themselves so that you can discover more sensation, more breath. Then slowly switch, extend the right leg, draw the left knee in, and begin hugging the left knee closer and working with your breath to comfortably stretch as you exhale and sense more and more feeling as you inhale. Taking complete breaths. A breath that fills the entire body on the inhale and squeezing every drop out on the exhale. You have the ability to discover something new about the pose each time you do it. If you approach it with fresh eyes, curiosity, and a willingness to maybe experiment, try some variation until you discover what works for you. You can release that leg out and roll over to kneeling pose. On hands and knees, press the hips back to child's pose. And if you want to use a block to support your forehead, just place it there and let your head rest on that block. That you can be comfortable and rest in the pose. Be aware of how you're breathing in your body. And even in this very simple pose, discover, maybe with a little fine-tuning, where your head needs to be, where your hips need to be, so that every part of the body is comfortable, steady, and easeful. So the breath is unhurried, uninterrupted, continuous, and smooth. over the course of time, you make additional fine-tuning adjustments to where your head is. Now, please lift into hero pose. Curl the toes under so there's a toe stretch involved as well. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. And exhale, pull the navel in. Focus on core strength in the abdomen, and the hips, and the pelvis. Okay, coming into our Anjaneyasana. We'll keep blocks convenient here. Stepping right foot forward. You can press down on blocks with the hands to move the left knee back. Inhale, lift the front of the shoulders up. And exhale, draw the shoulder blades into the back as you engage in the core, the pelvis. And you can either remain hands down or lift the hands up. Vajra Pradma Mudra over the heart. Be patient and wait for the pose to reveal something wonderful, exciting, or new. Be willing to fine-tune the alignment of the pose, a little variation, maybe looking up. And release the hands down. And begin to straighten the right knee, folding over the right hip. Lift the right toes up and press down through the back of the right heel. So you keep a slight lift, a micro bend in the right knee. Inhale, lengthen up and out of the waist, the spine long, the neck straight. And on the exhale, begin to fold deeper over the right hip, bowing, but remaining sensitive to know when to adjust the pose, maybe lowering the hands, or coming up if your breathing is being restricted in any way, to a place where your breath is more easeful. There. And release the right leg back to kneeling and step left foot forward. And coming back to our lunge. And pressing down through the hands, move the right knee back. Engage in the hips, the pelvis, the navel. And maybe you find the hands can lift up and form this mudra of trust, unshakable trust. Inhaling, lifting the heart, and exhaling, contracting the navel. And discover what works for you in this pose. Good. And bring the hands down to the blocks or to the mat. Begin to straighten the left knee. Lift the left toes up. Press down through the back of the left heel. Connecting the thigh bone into the hip. Squeeze the kneecap. Let the breath guide you comfortably and easily into the pose. So there's no rush. take all the time you need to learn about this pose, to discover something unique and wonderful in yourself, and how you relate to this pose can change if you really give it the opportunity to express itself and enough time to unfold. Excellent. Now release the left foot back and we'll practice downward facing dog. So we have our fingers spread. And at first we may need to experiment where the feet should go, that they're wide enough apart, the knees soft. Just explore where you need to go in this pose. Loosen up. And when you find the foundation that supports you with steadiness, let your body stay in that rooted and anchored position while you breathe. So there's still flexibility, but also this steadiness. Trust in that foundation, and you can really grow and discover deeper levels of the pose. I had a teacher once that put us in downward dog and never told us you could rest, but just stayed talking about downward dog and yoga for like half an hour, I guess, to see who would have the sense to rest and who wouldn't. Now, coming to pigeon pose, bring the right knee up behind the right wrist. Walk the left knee back. Begin to fold over the right hip, maybe resting on the elbows. Using whatever props could help you stay more comfortable, maybe something under the forehead. Find the right height, the right balance. And stay steady in your breath. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. 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 Now we're lifting up from this side, stepping right foot back, loosening up knees to bring the left knee forward in pigeon, the right knee back, squaring the hips, engaging the inner thighs, hugging the outer hips into the midline, the navel to the spine. Using this foundation to provide steadiness and the breath flowing comfortably, maintain the easefulness to really rest deeper into the pose beyond the superficial. Yes, we come into the general form of the pose, and we maintain good alignment in the pose, but really discover how the energy of your breath affects the pose. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. 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 Now lifting up from this side. Let's come all the way up to stand. Walking up to the mat and lifting up, reaching overhead with the arms, taking a long stretch up. And now resting the hands over the heart, this unshakable trust, Vajra, Prada, Mudra. Now, bring the hands behind to clasp, Yoga Mudra. Roll the shoulders back, pull the navel in, press down through the heels with strong legs, hug the muscles to the bone, and begin to lift the heart up, arching back into a baby back bend. Stay strong in the lower back, the thighs, the buttocks. Really use the strength of your legs for steadiness. So even in this kind of vulnerable position, you can have trust. You can discover what you never knew before. And releasing, rest the hands now at your side. Slide the hands down the legs, folding forward, having blocks ready in front of you so that you can rest the hands on blocks and forward bend. Inhale, soften the knees, breathe into the back. On the exhale, draw navel to spine, squeeze the kneecaps, and you may find you're going deeper and want to readjust how high the blocks are. But you have enough support from the blocks that you can press down against them firmly with your hands, with almost as much pressure as your feet are pressing into the floor. And over a series of breaths, find what height works for you. That you're completely content to stay in this pose for as long as you wish, for as long as it takes to reveal something new and delightful. And ready to release, bend the knees. Inhale, roll the back up. Take a moment to reorient yourself to standing. And then from the front of the mat, step the right foot back to high lunge. Balance on the ball of the back foot or lower the back heel if you don't feel steady. Lift the arms to Vajra Pradma Mudra over the heart. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, pull the navel in. Engage in the thighs. Bring the right hand down to the mat under the right shoulder and open the left arm, twisting to the left. Revolved. Perfect, good. Release the left hand down and step right foot forward. Exhale, fold over straight legs. Inhale, rise, lift the arms. And exhale, hands down to the side. Step the left foot back and high lunge. Bend the right knee. And hold hands over the heart in Vajra Pradma, unshakable trust. You've got this. Good. Release the left hand down under the left shoulder to the mat or to the block. And then rotate, twist to the right, open the right arm. Good. And lower the right hand down and step left foot forward to meet the right. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And lower the arms down. Warrior two, stepping right foot back. Bend the left knee. Open the arms. Virabhadrasana. Relax the shoulders. Deepen the breath. Be patient. Look deeper into the pose. Breathe deeper in the pose. You can do this. Release and step right foot forward and the left foot back. Take warrior two again. Virabhadrasana. Build strength in the foundation and the legs and feet. And open the arms. Gaze to the right fingers. Stay connected with the breath. The more easeful the breath, the longer you can hold the pose. As you deepen the breath, you reach deeper levels of awareness and relate to the pose at a much deeper level. Start to fine-tune with your subtle awareness how you're using energy in the pose. Spread that energy out from fingertip to fingertip. All right, good work. Release, hands down to the front. Step right foot back to downward dog. Lower the knees down and rest in Crocodile Pose. The hips are down, the forearms are folded in front, so there's a rest for the forehead on the back of the forearms. The toes are turning out to the side to the mat. And the base of the rib cage is touching the mat, but the shoulders are lifted up, so we're not collapsing down on the back of the shoulders or neck. And sense where your breath flows now in Crocodile Pose. How your body reacts to the breath, relates to the breath. And discover what parts of the body move as you breathe. What parts of your body feel invigorated by the breath. And then dive a little deeper and try and see where there's any stagnation in the body, that the breath doesn't really circulate too well. Now, let's transition up to seated. And in the seated poses, a blanket can be helpful to sit on. And come up here to Pashimotanasanas. Forward fold. So drawing the lower back in. Lift up through the front of the shoulders. The head of the arm bones lift up into the shoulder sockets. So you widen the collarbone, lengthen the back of the neck. And then hinge over the hips by squeezing the kneecaps, pulling the thigh bones up into the hip sockets. And pressing down through the backs of the heels. And with the breath, keeping everything comfortable, you may be able to bring some support underneath your chest or to your forehead so that you can, rest with some ease in the pose. Actually, I need extra height here. There. There, that's better. So experiment, find what height you need to stay easeful. And explore the pose with your breath. Slowly release and lift up to straight back. Take the legs out to a wide angle. And here we come forward once more now. And if you find you have different ability with this pose, change the height of your forehead rest. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. 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 And begin to release up out of your forward bend. Everybody here okay? Yep. Good. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, batteries were batteries were getting tired. Now we can go on. All right. We were
so much effort into this. I don't want to miss a word.
Thank you.
Went out when you were starting to turn into the pretzel, the seated pretzel.
Okay. So I'll begin the other side. If you're stuck in that side, switch the right knee on top of the left knee and go back to seated on the second side. Gomukhasana. Inhale, rolling the shoulders up and back. And exhale, drawing the navel in so you have that firm and steady seat. Maintain muscular energy in the feet and ankles, hugging the legs in towards the center. Encourage the breath to dive deeper into the pose, discover more wonderful things. let's move on and go on to reclining pose. Where we're laying on the back, lifting the right knee, press the right foot down, scooch the hips to the right, and then roll onto the outer left hip, bringing the right knee across to the left side of the mat. Reclining spinal twist, gaze over the right shoulder. You can use blocks underneath that knee to give it a little more ease and steadiness. And then we're just resting into the breath, exploring deeper, maybe even trying a little fine-tuning of what angle this right shoulder should be to get the optimal stretch. It feels best in your body today. Luxuriate in the stretch without any agenda and see what you discover. Release when you're ready onto the spine. Switch to the other side. Straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, and twist the left knee up and over towards the right side of the mat, perhaps using a block there for additional support. And gazing over the left shoulder now. Inhale, expand, take up all the space you need. And on the exhale, draw the navel in to twist a little farther. But gently explore, discover. And just be open to whatever arises. Everything is as it is for a reason. Lights on, please.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And releasing the twist, rest again on the spine, and hug knees into the chest. Relaxing the tension on the inhale so you can fill the lungs to their capacity. And emptying on the exhale, squeezing out all the breath. Take it to happy baby. If you wish to hold the ankles or the feet, and draw the knees down towards the armpits. Or explore some variation between those poses. And when you find what your body craves and needs, just stay with that for a good time. A generous amount of breath. So you're not in any hurry to go anywhere, do anything, that you're willing to really dive into this experience fully, satisfy your curiosity. And learn all you can in the pose. Release, pose down to rest the feet. And lengthen the legs, the arms the opposite direction. Symmetrically extend out through the toes and fingertips. And slowly transition to your Shavasana, widening the legs to the width of the mat, and the arms at your side, turning the palms face up. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back so the chest can open, the lungs breathe. And add any props that you need to remain comfortable and easeful. Good. Take up all the space you need, want. Remove any props that are distracting you or interfering with your pose. And let your body rest when you're ready into its most comfortable and natural state. Fully supported by the floor. So you don't have to use any effort whatsoever. You can let your body just melt and let go into the support of the floor, trustfully surrendering, easefully, peacefully, and contentedly. Searching through every nook and cranny of your body to dissolve any residual tension or effort. Breathing smoothly and steadily, bring your attention now to the center of the forehead. Inhale to the center of the forehead and exhale to the center of the forehead. Inhale to the center of the forehead and exhale at the center of the forehead. Inhale at the center of the forehead, and exhale at the center of the forehead. Inhale between the eyebrows, the third eye, and exhale between the eyebrows. Inhale at the corners of the eyes, and exhale at the corners of the eyes. Inhale at the tip of the nostrils, and exhale at the tip of the nostrils. Inhale at the throat center, and exhale at the throat center. Inhale at the shoulders, and exhale at the shoulders. Inhale at the upper arms, and exhale at the upper arms. Inhale at the elbows, and exhale at the elbows. Inhale at the wrists, and exhale at the wrists. Inhale at the center of the palms, and exhale at the center of the palms. Inhale at the center of the palms, and exhale at the center of the palms. Inhale at the wrists, and exhale at the wrists. Inhale at the elbows, and exhale at the elbows. Inhale at the upper arms, and exhale at the upper arms. Inhale at the shoulders, and exhale at the shoulders. Inhale at the throat center, and exhale at the throat center. Inhale at the heart center, and exhale at the heart center. Inhale at the base of the rib cage, and exhale at the base of the rib cage. Inhale at the navel center, and exhale at the navel center. Inhale at the sacral center, and exhale at the sacral center. Inhale at the root center, and exhale at the root center. Inhale at the root center, and exhale at the root center. Inhale at the sacral center, and exhale at the sacral center. Inhale at the navel center, and exhale at the navel center. Inhale at the base of the rib cage, and exhale at the base of the rib cage. Inhale at the heart center, and exhale at the heart center. Inhale at the throat center, and exhale at the throat center. Inhale at the tip of the nostrils. And exhale at the tip of the nostrils. Inhale to the inner corners of the eyes. And exhale at the inner corners of the eyes. Inhale to the third eye between the eyebrows. And exhale to the third eye. Inhale to the center of the forehead. And exhale at the center of the forehead. Inhale to the crown of the head. And exhale at the crown of the head. Inhale at the crown of the head. And exhale at the crown of the head. Inhale at the crown of the head. And exhale at the crown of the head. Good job. Now just breathe as though your whole body breathes. Comfortably expanding and contracting. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. 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 Now please to deepen your breath and awaken your muscles to stretch and move again. Finally, roll over to your side. Come back to a conscious waking state where you're back in this place and time with your consciousness. Come back up to easy seated pose. I thank you for your presence. I thank you for your practice. And I hope you discovered something new and wonderful in your practice today. Namaste.